Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're looking at something pretty fascinating, a new angle on AI.
That's right.
A listener sent us this piece about an advanced AI under test. The key phrase, hierarchical pattern learning.
hmm
So our mission today is basically to unpack that. How does it work? And, what do these successful tests really tell us? Let's try and get a quick, clear picture.
Absolutely. This hierarchical idea isn't brand new, but the way it's described here, well, it sounds like it could be quite powerful. A specific way for AI to learn.
Okay, let's dive into that. Hierarchical pattern learning. The source contrasts it with flat labels.
Yeah.
So instead of just one tag, it learns in layers. The example given is animal, that's level 1,
Right.
then mammal, level 2, and finally polar bear, level 3. What's the real benefit of learning like that in layers?
Well, think about it like this. Instead of the AI just spitting out
Yeah.
polar bear,
Okay.
it understands the relationship. A polar bear is a type of mammal. And a mammal, well, that is a type of animal.
Ah, right. So it's building connections.
Exactly. It creates a much richer, sort of interconnected map of knowledge. By knowing it's an animal first, it can then look for mammal features.
Which makes finding polar bear more reliable in the end.
Precisely. It narrows down the possibilities logically. More robust, like you said.
That makes a lot of sense. It's about the context, not just the label. Now, the text mentions the AI correctly handled both case 1 and 2 and error 1 and 2.
Mhm.
We don't know exactly what those cases were, but handling different scenarios, including errors. That sounds promising, doesn't it?
It really does. It suggests the AI isn't brittle. It can cope with variations, maybe even tricky inputs, and still land on the right answer.
Mm,
Shows a degree of resilience.
okay. Then there's this other result, the clock, not trained input. It was labeled undefined,
Yep, and that was noted as expected.
which at first glance you might think, it failed.
Right. You might, but actually, no. That's a really positive sign.
How so?
By calling the untrained clock undefined, the AI is showing it recognizes the limits of its training. It knows what it doesn't know.
Ah, okay. It's not just guessing wildly.
Exactly. It avoids making potentially wrong assumptions about things it hasn't learned. That ability to effectively say, I don't know, is critical for trustworthy AI.
Hmm.
Prevents false positives.
I see. So better to flag ignorance than invent an answer. Makes sense.
Definitely.
And on the flip side, the polar bear, which was in its training,
Yes.
that was correctly recognized with no errors. Now, given this whole hierarchical learning thing, why is that particularly significant? It got it right, sure, but
Well, because it likely recognized it through that hierarchy. Animal,
Hmm?
mammal, polar bear.
Right.
Its identification isn't just a lucky guess based on some surface features. It's grounded in those broader categories it already established.
So it's less likely to confuse it with, say, a snowy owl or something else white from the Arctic.
Much less likely, yes. The hierarchical structure provides that deeper context and confirmation. The foundation makes the specific ID stronger.
Okay, pulling it together then. What are the main advantages of hierarchical pattern learning based on these test results?
The source actually spells it out quite clearly. It states this method enables higher recall and higher precision.
Higher recall, meaning it remembers what it learned better.
Basically, yes.
Yeah.
It's better at retrieving the correct information it holds.
And higher precision.
Fewer mistakes.
Right.
It's more accurate when it does make an identification, and crucially, it's better at not identifying things it shouldn't. That ability to reject unknown inputs, like the
Yeah.
clock.
That directly feeds into higher precision. Got it.
Exactly. Rejecting the unknown early stops errors later.
So for you listening, the kind of key takeaway here is that this layered learning, this hierarchy, it helps the AI be, well, smarter, both in recognizing what it knows accurately and in recognizing what it doesn't know. It feels like a more sophisticated approach.
It is. By building this structured understanding level by level, it seems to overcome some issues you get with flatter, simpler learning methods. You end up with a more dependable, more nuanced AI system.
So, summing up our deep dive, hierarchical pattern learning isn't just about labels. It's a layered system, going from broad categories down to specific details.
That's the core idea.
And this leads to more accuracy, better recall, and that really important ability to say undefined when faced with something new.
Precisely. And, it makes you think. This method, moving from the general to the specific, it really does mirror how we humans often learn about the world, doesn't it?
That's a great point. We categorize things all the time.
So the final thought maybe is, what other areas, beyond just image recognition perhaps, could really benefit from this kind of hierarchical way of processing information? Where else is that layered understanding needed? Something to ponder.